Well, well, well. Who are we going to talk about today? My man, Tua Tungavailoa. Yeah, baby. Well, the news out, Pat Mahomes. And I think Tua needs to kind of follow this. I think it's incredibly important for him. I think it's incredibly important for the Dolphin organization, the teammates, and you, the fans, right? Because we haven't seen ultimate success for the Miami Dolphins in forever. Okay. I mean, I was a child when we won the Super Bowls. I was 7 and 8 years old when we won the Super Bowls. So we need to kind of have some success here. They've won. They've even gotten to a couple Super Bowls since then. They've had, won a division. They've gotten into the playoffs, but there has been no real big time success. And part of that is you have to be very intelligent in today's world. And one of the things, of course, that is going to help is having the right attitude. And Pat Mahomes clearly has the right attitude. He is one of those guys that is universally respected, right? I mean, I don't think I'm off by saying that Pat Mahomes is universally, respected by everybody. Everybody admires the player, admires the play, how clutch he is, the ability, all of that stuff. Hell, how he handles the fact that he has a terrible brother too. I mean, dude's polar opposite of that guy. You know what I'm saying? Even his wife at times is kind of a little out there, and yet he handles all of this stuff perfectly. You know what I'm saying? I do like his commercials also, and he's a bubble bath guy too, isn't he? No, but really, all kidding aside, Tua Tagovailoa needs to do this, and he needs to follow what Pat Mahomes wants to do and is doing right now. And it's interesting because he came out and said, and I'm going to explain this why it's really important. It's not as basic and simple as it is for Pat Mahomes as it is for Tua. It's a little bit more complicated for Tua. We'll get into that. But Pat Mahomes says, I've always said I worry about legacy and winning rings more than making money at this moment. We see what's going on around the league, but at the same time, I'll never do anything that's going to hurt us from keeping the great players around me. So it's kind of teetering around that line. He goes on to say, remember, he signed a 10-year, $450 million deal, which by now it's being priced out because of the other deals that are coming out. And all these quarterbacks are not better than he is. He goes on to say, it's not about being the highest paid guy. It's not about making a ton of money. I've made enough money where I'll be set for the rest of my life. But at the same time, you've got to find that line where you're making good amount of money, but you're still keeping a lot of great players around you so you can win these Super Bowls and you're able to compete in these games. And then he says, I think it's for all these guys. I think you see the guys that are getting paid the last offseason and they're trying to find that right spot. If you look at the greats in the league, they find the right spot where they're getting paid a lot of money, but at the same time, keeping a lot of the great players around. I understand you look at the team and you've got guys like Chris Jones, L'Jarius Sneed, and even Travis Kelce. All these guys that you need to keep around you to have these great teams. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And Tua has not gotten to the point where he's getting paid. Okay. But his legacy has already been attacked. His ability has already been attacked. There's already that doubt there, all of that stuff. Plus, he's already suffered his share of injuries in this league. And so if you're Tua Tagovailoa, listen, man, this is what you got to think. Because since you're not built like Josh Allen, since you're not built like Cam Newton, since you're not built like Ben Roethlisberger, you can't really take a beating. So is it going to be smart when contract time comes around and you try to max the hell out of everything? No. No. Because you want to make sure you have a guy like Teron Armstead and Connor Williams. You want to keep Robert Hunt. And if you develop a right tackle or a guard at left guard, that is, you want to keep those kind of guys. You want to keep a Tyreek Hill when Waddle comes up. All of these things. I'm a big Jalen Phillips guy. I think he's going to have a 10-plus sack season this year. I think this is a year where he breaks out because you saw it last year. It's like a volcano that's about to explode. So he has to follow this. One, not only because you want to win, but also because you want to put yourself in the best position to stay healthy and to play at a high level. And being greedy and selfish and thinking about getting the most money, that's not going to help you. And especially when you're Tua Tagovailoa. And you know why? Just like Pat Mahomes. Muscle milk and all kinds of ads are coming your way anyways. So what's the ego about how much money I take up on the cap, and am I getting paid what that quarterback's getting paid in this quarter? No, dude, just have your marketing team in the off season set up several companies. You record your commercials in the off season, and you add 2, 3, 4, 10 companies, and you make your money on that side of it. For years, Tom Brady had a supermodel wife that made more money than him. So he was able to take less and allow Belichick to add pieces. Since he sucks at drafting, he had to then add other pieces in order to help him out. And that's what he did. And Pat Mahomes is doing the same thing. He signed what was a quarterback-friendly deal in 2020 for 10 years. Is he going to adjust it? Of course he's going to adjust it along the way. But he already told you what he's going to do. He's going to plan on doing it the right way so he can accommodate Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. And I say, if you're Tua Tagovailoa, you needed a little bit more than Pat Mahomes, because Pat Mahomes has a little bit more ability than you. He has a little bit more athletic ability. He has a little bit more arm. So those kind of things help him survive a little bit more. Josh Allen is bigger. He can take more hits. If you're Tua Tagovailoa, you want to be smart about this. You're going to make your money. And you'll make even more money off the field if you're smart. And that's what some of these guys have to do. They have to use their marketing money to offset so they can give themselves professionally an opportunity. Listen, if you're not a big name quarterback and you're not going to have those kind of ads, I kind of get it. But not Tua. Tua is the perfect representative of any company, unless you're talking about like a strip club or something that's a little edgy. That's probably not going to be Tua's thing. But if it's shoes and working out and weights and food and clothes and cell phones and whatever, they're all going to want Tua Tagovailoa representing them, because Tua Tagovailoa is an exceptional human being. He's never going to make your company look bad. He's never going to make your players look bad, your organization. He's always going to carry himself the right way. And listen, to me, this is advice that I think he's playing chess and I'm playing checkers. I think that's how he's wired anyway. He's wired like, yeah, dude, of course I'm going to, take care of myself. Of course, I'm going to also make sure that I have the right players around me. I'm not just worried about salary. And that's another thing for you Dolphin fans out there. You don't have a selfish, self-centered player in Tua Tagovailoa. You have the ultimate team competitor, the guy that is willing to sell out his body and do anything, even though he's not supposed to put a shoulder into somebody in the open field. He did it. Okay? Don't ever do that again, Tua. But he is a maniac. He will be the most selfless player out there. And I got to tell you, I think for him, it's going to be about rings and not money also. And that's a good thing. But I just thought that Tua's, your legacy, your reputation, your ability, everything's been questioned and challenged, right? Here's your opportunity to give everybody the middle finger and make sure that you have the right people around you. And I think you have the right front office. I think you have the right coach. So those elements are all there. Greed is not one of those that is going to step in, and he's going to hurt himself by asking for so much money that it will cripple what he can do around him. So I believe Tua Tagovailoa will take a page out of Pat Mahomes' playbook and make your Miami Dolphins a much better franchise.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.